everybody, it's Jenna from Jenna Stitches. Today is Sunday, November 27th, and it is my weekly progress video. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. I know I've gotten a few new subscribers since my last video. So if you are new here, thank you for joining us, and thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks for coming back. I really appreciate that as well. But if you are new, every Sunday I come on and just show you everything I've worked on throughout the week. This week has been kind of busy with work and then holiday and kind of just relaxing, to be honest, because it's been crazy at work the last like 3 months. So to actually have more than just the weekend off and kind of like decompress has been very nice. So I really haven't worked on much. For some people, it's still a lot. I did start and finish 3 projects, but that's the only thing I've touched all week. And if you're familiar with my videos, you know I usually do a lot more than that, but I do have the luxury of being able to pretty much crochet 24/7 because I have the luxury of being able to crochet while I work. But while I'm training, which this week I have been, I can't really do both because when I'm training, I have to, talk to the people that I'm training and teach them how to do everything. And it takes a lot of my focus away, so I can't really focus on what I'm crocheting, which is fine. It is, it's my job. I know I have that luxury and some people don't. So I did periodically work on a project throughout the week while working, but it was only while my trainees were doing something else or earlier in the morning while I was working on the other part of my job. So that's why I didn't get much done. But I did start and finish 3 projects, and I didn't work on any of my whips. So again, if you're familiar with my channel, I have 3 blankets I'm working on. I'm making a latte square blanket, a Grafgan, and then the mosaic crochet for my husband, none of which that I have touched this week. I actually haven't touched the latte square blanket or my husband's in quite a few weeks. But I did work on the Grafgan a little bit last week, but I didn't touch anything this week other than the 3 projects I'm going to show you. And again, it's just been kind of hectic work-wise and then lazy not work-wise. So Thursday was Thanksgiving here in the U.S. Until we went to my parents' house, me and my husband stayed in bed and watched TV and played video games all morning. We went to my mom's around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I was crocheting while doing that, but I was also playing a game on my laptop, and he was on his Switch, and we were watching Supernatural together. And my kids were, in the living room playing with each other or whatever. But we kind of just chilled in bed, and I crocheted a little bit here and there. Same thing Friday. Friday was a pretty much relaxed day all day. Didn't really do anything but crochet and play my game a little bit. And then yesterday, we actually cleaned quite a bit and reorganized and stuff. The room that I'm in right now is kind of both our offices, and then, there's a toy box behind me and some of my husband's stuff right here. But this wall that you guys can't see, the wall in front of me, is my desk, but to the left of me is most of my yarn. And I'm trying to get all of my yarn in here, but the shelves I have definitely don't hold all of my yarn. And if you could see it, and maybe I'll insert a picture of it at the end or something, but there is a mountain of Karen cakes on top of the shelving units right now. And I have many, many more Karen cakes, but I'm afraid if I stack them too high, they're all just going to fall over. So I spent a lot of yesterday cleaning in here and, getting rid of some stuff we don't need anymore and boxing some stuff up. There was a coffee table in here. We moved it out, and that allowed me to just kind of get to my yarn and kind of reorganize. And I originally had all my cakes in the shelving units. They're the like cubed ones. And I realized that the cakes took up more space than skeins of yarn. So I took all the cakes out and was able to actually get quite a bit of yarn in here that wasn't in here before with stacking cakes on top. So I did that yesterday. And then we had the parade of lights in our town last night that me, my husband, the kids, my cousin, her kids, and two of her kids' dad and his girlfriend, we all went to together. And I took a bunch of pictures there last night, so I will insert those at the end too. My cousin, I know I mentioned her a few times. I mentioned her in yesterday's video about the Whimsical Stitches book that I got. She's the one who picked that out. And my last weekly progress video, I believe, I had made hats for her and her friends. So I actually will have a picture of her at the end because she was with me last night and we both have our hats on, because that is the first finished project I did this week. I really, really like that hat design that I made for her and her friends. And I actually don't think I got to show the other hat, but I actually made a child-size one for her friend's daughter. But I really liked it too, and I wanted one for myself. So that was the first thing I did throughout the week, is make myself one. And again, I don't remember the name of this pattern or who it's by, but it is a YouTube tutorial, so I'll get that link down below. So for this, I used the Impeccable, I don't remember the colorway, but it's like a heathered gray. It was the same one I used on my cousin's. I had enough left over to make another hat. And then this is Picasso by Ice Yarns. And then my pom-pom, which I believe this one is from one of my subscribers, Mary, who sent me some happy mail. I thought it was the perfect pom-pom to put on this hat with the Picasso yarn. And I absolutely love the Picasso yarn. I actually have a cart full of Ice Yarns waiting to purchase it, but I'm going back and forth of whether I should wait until after Christmas or order it now, because I really shouldn't be spending money on myself, but I want everything in the cart so bad. So I did modify this one a little bit, which you can't really tell with the pom on it because the pom covers it up, but instead of closing it out with the gray, I actually closed it out with the Picasso, just because I had just a little bit of the Picasso left and it was the only donut I had. So I figured I'd just use the whole thing up. But there is my hat, and you will see pictures of me wearing that later. Thankfully, I made it for myself. I usually don't wear hats, but I have been wearing my hair down a lot lately, and I actually realized why. So I have very, very, very thick hair. It is so heavy. But after having my surgery, one of the side effects of the surgery is that your hair falls out. And I have had that problem quite a bit. And my ponytail, like when it's up, it's probably half, if not more, less than it used to be. So my hair's not as heavy anymore. And I realized that with it down, it doesn't bother me anymore. Because I used to hate it. It just weighed my head down so much. And now it doesn't bother me to have my hair down. So now I can wear hats because I think I look funny with a hat on and my hair up. But with my hair down and a hat on, doesn't bother me as much. So, but thankfully I actually did that and wore it last night because it was cold. Western New York, end of November, it's not really that cold. We haven't really gotten snow yet. We did have snowstorms last weekend, but it's all gone at this point here. And it got down to like low 40s while we were out last night. But standing out in it for, close to 3 hours, by the end of it, like I had kneeled down to try to get our outdoor stray cat to come up to me, and like I couldn't get back up because my body was so like frozen. So I'm glad I had the hat because it definitely kept my head warm. So that is the first thing I started and finished this week. And the second thing I did show the start of it on Wednesday for my Wednesday Works video. And I did finish it, and I am so in love with this project. As soon as I get projects out of the way for other people, I'm making myself one because the pattern is beautiful. The way it turned out in the end is beautiful. It's not normally something I would like, but I truly fell in love with this. And if it wasn't for my mom, I definitely would steal it, but I think she'll love it too. So it is the Carolina Poncho by Bag O'Day. And this is how mine turned out. And it does have sleeves on it. I will link her tutorial for it down below. I didn't weave my ends in yet, but there's the other sleeve, and it's got this beautiful collar on it, and it was so simple, so easy. And I used Karen Cloud Cake, and I meant to remember the colorway of it, but I don't. But it's this pretty blue color. I think it's royal blue. But I did, in my Wednesday video, kind of explain the colorway. I didn't know, and I don't know how I didn't know this, but I didn't know they had a solid blue cloud cake until Heather at the Crochet Witch showed it. And as soon as she did, I was like, I need it, and I need to make my mom something, because her favorite color is blue, and I love the cloud cakes. My favorite yarn right now is tied between cloud cakes and latte cakes, but I want to say cloud cakes are kind of beating out latte cakes at this point. The only issue is they break really easy, so if you pull too hard, you'll break it. But, like, it's so soft, it's so light, and it worked up beautifully, and I love it so much. I can't wait to make another one, but I do need to get everybody else's projects out of the way first. Here's the little sleeves, which is so cool. My thing with ponchos and why I don't wear them is I don't like that your arms are locked. And I think I might have mentioned this on Wednesday too. I don't like long sleeves. I don't even really like wearing cardigans. And if I do, I end up pushing them up like this because I don't like my lower arms covered. So I don't like ponchos for that reason. So this is something that would be perfect for me, because wearing it around, like, that feeling I get with ponchos was gone, because I did put it on and wear it just to see if it fit right and everything. And I think it will fit perfectly on my mom. If I make it for myself, I think I have to make the sleeves a little bit longer or a little bit different because they felt kind of weird, but I think with her it will work fine. I love that so much. So that I started and finished. Very simple pattern too. It's a 2-row repeat. Even when getting to the sleeves, I was a little bit worried about that, but Crystal explains it so well, and they were so simple to do. So I'll link it down below. I highly recommend it. And Darla, the Crafty Yarn Owl, I think is the name of her channel. She just finished one with cloud cakes as well. So I'll actually link that video in the description box too, because she has a video of her finished project and a picture of her wearing it too. So if me holding it up doesn't show you what it really looks like, then Darla's video will definitely help out because she used the same yarn I did. Awesome pattern. And then the last thing I made, I actually started last night and finished this morning. It was a very quick project. It probably took me about an hour altogether, but it's also going to be a Christmas present for my mom. And I did mention that the poncho is for my mom, but I didn't know if I mentioned it's a Christmas present, so it's a Christmas present. And then she had actually asked for this when I asked her what she wanted for Christmas. All she said was a pair of mittens in the yarn that matches the Wild Oleander hooded cowl I made her, which I did end up giving her. She loves it. She probably won't wear it hooded. She said she'll more than likely just wear it as a cowl, but hey, it still works. But the yarn I used for that was the Loops and Threads Facets yarn in the colorway Sea Glass, and she had asked for a pair of mittens made out of that too. So I had like half a skein left. I did run to Michael's. I almost said Wegmans. That is a grocery store around here that does not carry yarn, and I don't know why that popped in my head. But I went to Michael's with my cousin last weekend, and I grabbed another skein of the Facets yarn so I could make her mittens, and I finished them this morning. So they're probably going to be a little bit big on her because honestly they're a little bit big on me. But there it is. And I actually, with this, held 2 strands together because I did make almost a whole mitten with just 1 strand. And when I put them on, you can see even right here, like you can see my skin through it. But with just 1 strand, like the whole thing was like this. Or like I can stick my fingers out through it. just with the way the yarn is, the whole thing you could see my hand through. So I ended up scrapping that one and remaking it with 2 strands held together. And I do like it more, like that bugs me, but no matter what I did, I couldn't figure out how to fix that. I guess I could have put extra stitches in there and then maybe the next round double crochet 2 together to kind of fill in those gaps. But I don't think it will be that much of an issue. And her hands are smaller than mine, so you actually might not even be able to see that on hers. But there is that one, and then this one, which again, right there, did the same thing. So whatever I was doing right there is causing those stitches to stretch a little bit. And the thumb on this one looks weird. I guess on camera it doesn't. In person it does, but these were very simple. They worked up pretty fast. I started and finished a whole one before we left last night. I think I started it around 4 and we left, well, I stopped crocheting and started getting ready around 4:45 and I already had one done. So about 45 minutes, and then I started the second one. I had the cuff done already. I did that last night when we got back. But as far as working the mitten up, I started the second one around 8:30 this morning. I did stop here and there to like get the kids breakfast and did some dishes and threw dinner in the crock pot. But I think even doing all that, I was done by 10. So if I would have steadily crocheted again, probably would have taken me about 45 minutes to an hour to make them in a really simple pattern. I did technically use a tutorial for these that'll link down below. It's the herringbone mittens. I just typed in crocheted mittens in YouTube and found one that I liked. This is the herringbone stitch, but with this yarn you can't really tell. It just looks like double crochets. I guess a little bit you can tell in there, but honestly I didn't really follow the tutorial at all though. I made the cuffs the way I wanted to. The only thing I really followed out of the tutorial is the herringbone stitch, because and the thumb part, because she in her tutorial does it different than I've ever done mittens before. But honestly, the rest of it, I kind of just winged it and went with my hand because I did. I don't know why. I didn't like the way the cuffs were on the tutorial. She makes them really long and folds them over. I, again, don't like anything around my lower arm, so the thought of like a bulky cuff folded over was just driving me crazy. And I'm sure my mom wouldn't have cared, but I just decided to do it this way instead. Usually the rib would go up and down. I just had mine go, there's a piece of my hair in it. Oh, that's crocheted in too. So I modified that, and then I did kind of keep the same stitch count as the tutorial, which worked out perfect. But again, the only thing I really followed was the herringbone stitch part of it. The rest of it, I actually ended up shutting the video off and kind of just winging it. Nothing wrong with the tutorial at all. I knew how to make them. I don't know why I even really looked up a tutorial, other than I was looking for like a stitch to use, and there you go. I don't know how I just talked for 19 minutes now about 3 things, but I did. So that is all I have for you guys today. I think I'm going to try my hardest to not start a new project today, because the only thing I have going at this point now is the 3 blankets I mentioned earlier. I do have a couple other things I have to make for other people still. My cousin had bought the Facets colorway in Juniper, which is the green and purple one. I made myself a wild oleander hooded cowl out of it. She wants one too, so she did give me the yarn for that. But other than that, I think I'm kind of done making stuff for other people. I've made all the hats that I'm donating. I will have my Moody Monday up tomorrow to show you all the hats that I made for my mom's classroom before I give them to her. So really the only thing I have to make outside of the 3 blankets, oh, and I'm working on a sweater for myself. I completely forgot about it. I did work on that a little bit this week, but it's not going to look any different than the last time I showed it. Is my cousin's wild oleander hooded cowl. So maybe I'll start that later, maybe not. I'm not really sure yet. Don't really have a plan. I usually don't. You guys, if you watch my videos, know that I usually don't have any plans, and I just kind of do what I feel like doing. But I don't want to start any new project outside of something for someone else. I do want to try to get some progress on the blankets. So maybe I'll just do that today instead of starting something, but we'll see. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope everybody had a great holiday. Let me know down in the comments how your weekend's been going and what you've been working on and everything. And again, I'm going to insert some pictures after the video of my stack of yarn over here. Oh, you couldn't see my hand over here. And the pictures I took last night at the Festival of Lights. And I'll see you all tomorrow for the next one.